Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That Checks Out. I am your host and star, Ted. The other guy here is Damon, I guess, and Brian is running the board. Damon.
So you're the host and star?
Oh, you caught that?
I just rolled through that?
Just checking, because sometimes you don't pay attention to what I say. Just checking. But yes, I am the host and star. Damon, what do you got?
Oh, thanks for allowing me to talk, Your Highness. I appreciate it.
I am sitting higher than you.
You are sitting higher than me, yeah. I'm like, hey, your chair's still higher. Like, this feels right.
Yeah, it does. Nothing else felt right this week. This sitting down today felt right.
This feels right. This feels right. I will look down on you this entire recording.
I mean, it wouldn't change no matter where I sat.
Correct. Right. I just thought about that. I'm like, man, I don't think that matters if he's standing
you
or
literally
sitting.
like lofted that right over
You
the
can
plate.
lay on the floor and be like, I'm still looking down on you, Chief.
Oh.
Wow.
Is your Google not working?
You looked up who was the star of That Checks Out podcast, and it says Damon Paracchio.
Oh, really?
You're on Google. Look at that.
That's
Number
nice.
one result.
Number one result for who was the star of That Checks Out podcast.
Specific.
Wow,
Damon
it's not
Paracchio.
It's not an 18 or over website. This is great. I've made it. Doesn't end in hub.
Out of 777 million results, you are number one.
Hey, just like
I will say that it does say at the very end with Ted Wilson. And if you go to like the first link, it doesn't even put my whole name. That Checks Out podcast, Damon Bracchio and Ted. dot. I am part of the Ellipses now.
We're gonna hold both of those L's.
That will remain a mystery.
Yes.
The rest of my name.
But what's his last name? I want to know so bad. That's awesome. So I made a Google search. I'm very proud of that.
Great, Brian. Now we're gonna have to deal with this ego the rest of the show.
All right. So I guess I will grace you with my presence and begin to talk. When you're done bowing.
No.
Hey, I want to catch up on my week.
All right, because I've got a thing too. You go ahead.
All right. So your thing, and listen, if it tops
your thing,
it,
don't care about it. Yeah.
If it tops it, that's fine. But here's my headline for my own story. Dog shits on a pile of clothes.
Wow, we're going right in.
Yeah.
We're going right in.
Well, not my dog, my wife and family's dog, decided to relieve itself. I already said the word anyway, doesn't matter. But relieve itself on a pile of my freshly washed, folded clothes that I had setting on the floor.
Do you know how long I have been training this dog?
Yeah. We've been thrown out of so many coals. It's not even funny.
This is...
Sir, what is your dog doing?
It's so underwhelming at this point. How long have the effort I put into this?
So nothing makes you more angry than reaching down for a shirt in the morning.
I don't know if I can relate to this, but go ahead.
Correct. Reaching down for a shirt and going, is that pudding? and then realize it doesn't smell like pudding. You've already showered. So now you're going back in. I'm scrubbing my hands. But here's what first off, I said football words. Okay.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
But first I went, shit, real loud. And it woke up the entire house, neighborhood, whatever.
Well, isn't that like the plan? Like if you see a fire, you got to point it out. You saw.
Yeah. We have an evacuation plan in place for this reason. There is feces on my floor.
We're going code brown, everyone. Code brown.
Kids to the roof. Dad, it's snowing.
Code brown.
To the roof. So I go in, I'm washing up, and Nicole, she's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, your dog shit on my clothes. And she goes, what? And I says, exactly what I said.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Don't think you're still sleeping, wrapping your brain around something.
That wasn't a metaphor. That wasn't code.
Yeah. Right. Meanwhile, the dog's under the bed like, I shit on his clothes. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I clean up. I have to grab different clothes, and no big deal. But I grab different stuff, and she's cleaning up stuff, and she's got like a whole basket. She's scrubbing clothes before she puts them in the laundry, of course, because we're not. It is what it is. So I said, I'm like, whatever. I'm going out. I got a couple things to do. I'm sitting at the computer for a couple minutes. Okay. And now she's getting my kids ready around for school, so they can get up and get going. And Marissa walks out, and she walks past me, and I have one of these smooth things. It's a camera thing. I'm learning how to use it at my desk. So you can hold it, and it'll always hold the camera level. Okay.
Oh, it's a gimbal.
It'll come in handy for us, and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. And I'm smiling, and I'm like, I'm looking at the camera, giving myself stupid faces and doing stupid stuff. And she looks at me, and she says with a straight face, "Why do you look so mad?" And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Why do you look so mad?" And she's smiling. And I go, I'm not mad. And she goes, "Why do you look so mad?" And I said, "I was mad earlier." I said, "The dog actually like shit on my clothes. And she goes, I know. And Mom said not to talk to you about it or ask you about it, but since you brought it up, that was the best way I've ever woke up in my life. And she's laughing so hard walking down the stairs.
Such a long road to get to that part, Brian.
But that's what she did.
That was the whole point.
That's what she did. So now later on that day, I go out with Chuck to the hardware store, and I come back, and I had him get, we were going to be home before their mom got home. So I said, hey, pick out an ice cream thing if you want it. That's fine. Get one for your sister too.
Please tell me you got a fudge sickle.
No.
Put it on her clothes.
No, but he gets the stuff, and we get home, and so they eat it, and I said, hey, don't say nothing to Ma. And I'm like, just chill. And Marissa looks at me, and she goes, actually, Chuck would be the only one in trouble. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, he'd be the only one in trouble. He goes, Mom told us when we're out with you and you try to buy us stuff to look at you and say, we have groceries at home. And she said, but I wasn't there. And she's eating her ice cream. She's eating exhibit A or B, whichever one you do, right?
Right.
And she's laughing, and she goes, Chuck's going to be the only one in trouble. She gets done. She throws her wrapper away, and she goes, I'm fine. And she walks right back upstairs.
Yeah, you might be raising a serial killer, just so you know.
She's my kid.
Yeah.
There's no doubt she's my kid.
Yeah. I'm still wondering where you hid your body, so don't worry about it.
So, but yeah, just to have her twice in like a day be like, whew, yeah, it's not me. It's not me. Cool.
Yeah.
But she literally looked at me and she goes, I know. And she goes, but Mom said not to bring it up. But since you did.
Yeah. I know. I walked the dumbest person into this house, into this conversation, and now we're going to have it.
That's exactly what happened. It was so awesome. I was like, because you're proud, but then you're like, oh.
Because she doubled down on you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she was like, why are you so mad? I'm not mad. Why are you?
Right. And then she makes me relive it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I was mad this morning when the dog, and I started getting mad again. And she's like, I know, and I'm like, oh, geez. So yeah, to be
Your Honor, I'd like to treat the witness as hostile.
Yeah, she's almost 12, and she knows how to just like get in my brain. So it's pretty crazy. But
how much Law and Order does she watch? She's got it down.
So what's up with you? What'd you do this week?
Your thing made me think of a thing. I don't want to be that guy, but I know a guy.
You're gonna one up me?
No, I put it. We talked about it on the way here. I talked about it when I put on social media about me going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
This happened to me, Brian. You might not have read it. I went to the bathroom, and I was working in a big box store because my job sometimes takes me there. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. I walk in. There's 3 guys at 3 urinals. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's a stall opportunity. But I see a river going from the toilet to the toilet drain. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And I get around the barrier, and I see the toilet is clogged. Like, it is overflowing. And I look down on the ground, and apparently Damon's dog was there because right in the tile between the door and the toilet was like a giant, like I can't describe to you how big, how massive this was. So then I turn around and walk back into the place I was working, and they're like, oh, that was quick. Is there a problem? I'm like, yeah, someone shit on the floor in the bathroom. And they're like, well, yeah, that happens a lot. This sent me to the roof. I'm like, I don't want to live in a society where this is so normal that you just shrug it off like a regular Thursday.
Was it a gas station?
No, it was a big box store. It was,
big box.
It was not some store, but it was another store.
Yeah. They should have clean restrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to live in a society where this is a thing. Like, this can't, like, someone should be more upset about it than just me. And I'm going to the back bathrooms because those are usually cleaner. No one knows about them. I'll be right back. Because that was still part of my
still
thing.
had to go.
I still had to go.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I just couldn't go in there.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense why that one guy was taking a crap in the urinal.
Right. Yeah.
That finally made sense at the end.
In retrospect.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to bring up for my week is that we got new home house Wesh. Wow, I got to go home. I'm out. Mesh Wi-Fi. So it boosts your Wi-Fi and kills all the dead spots and raises the speeds and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's working?
Well, that's the funny thing is that if you give my wife any kind of technology that could maybe be better or maybe be adjusted or has 8,000 different settings, she's going to try every single setting. So it's like, and I was working from home yesterday because I had a short day and it didn't seem worth it to go into work and come back home when a lot of it was going to be conference calls and whatnot. So it was every few minutes, hey, are you busy right now? Because I want to reset this. Yeah, I'm working. I don't know if you know, I'm doing my job. And then like 2 minutes later, hey, let me know when you take a break so I can reset the router and reset the modem and then have it be down for 40 minutes. And then you got to explain why you're taking an hour and a half lunch instead of a half hour lunch. Like, can we just, I will be gone tomorrow morning. You do whatever you want with it. Like you can light on a fire for all I care. But that's all it's been. I mean, to be fair, yes, the speeds have quadrupled in some settings and there's no,
really?
The dead spots that used to be in the house are totally gone now, which is fantastic. But then I'm driving here this morning and she texts me and that's another thing. Anything at time a new device comes on, she's like, what was that? Someone just added to our network. And so
I feel like I can relate to this.
I'm like,
it sounds like me.
I was playing online video games with some friends last night because I'm 12. And I got my Switch, which I told Brian last time we were here.
Right.
And he was very jealous that we have 3 Switches. I've got mine and connected it. And then,
and Branson money, if I could add. Yeah.
And then texted her in all caps, so that's angry. It is my Switch. 2 minutes later, she pops in the room. What just connected? And I was like, check your messages. And she was like, it was my Switch. I'm like, you read that as if I'm angry because that's how I texted it. And then this morning, as I'm driving here, she said something popped up. Some random Samsung popped up at 1 a.m. last night. I think it was our son, but I don't know what Samsung device he has. I'm like, I think he probably hooked up the TV because the TV was originally directly connected to the modem.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. You have a smart TV?
Yeah, it was directly connected. But now that we're putting this new device on I couldn't directly connect it. So I was like, he probably just did that. And then 2 minutes later, I figured it out. It was the TV. And I'm like, yeah, I think Lieutenant Ted Columbo told you that maybe 4 seconds ago. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I figured it out immediately. But man,
sir, we have another signal.
Yeah.
Sir, we have another signal.
It's like she's in SETI looking for aliens. All right, we got to figure this out. And the whole time, it was just her father.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you where they could have used her. On the lookout of the bridge of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Hey, we got it.
Something's going on out there.
Hey.
Something new is in the ocean.
Hey.
I don't think it's a whale this time.
Of course, by the time she walks down and finds you, did you climb all the way down?
Yeah, I already radioed in the iceberg. I don't know where you've been. If you would have just checked your Morse code, you would have known.
She's standing there like, hold on a minute. And then they finish her talk like, what's going on? Holy cow, what are we doing? That's why I'm here. Yeah. There's something new.
While she's doing hold up, you just hear as the metal of the boat sliding across the iceberg.
Yeah. So coincidentally, that's why I'm here. You told me to hold on.
Yeah. I was waiting.
I
mean, I could see it over your shoulder that we were in dire straits, but I waited.
First off, called it. Ta-da!
Second off, I'm going to need you to take this captain's hat.
Yeah.
And then punch my ticket because now I'm a passenger.
Right. I already have all my uniforms in my sack. I'm ready to go.
I left all my uniforms at home because I know they'd come looking for them.
Wouldn't that be the real? You're the captain. You only brought one uniform. Why? We ain't gonna make it that many days.
You're just wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And you're just wearing a T-shirt that you drew your uniform on,
and it says I'm here to party, or it's got like a tuxedo picture on it.
It's like my Ghostbusters one where it says Captain in Velcro, and you can rip it off.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Man, there was only one big white-haired guy with a huge ZZ Top beard on this boat. Really? Let's find him.
I got awesome legs and know how to use them. Get off this boat. Oh, also happened this week. I don't know if she wants to be part of the podcast, but happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah. She's
I told her that Friday. Her gift was that I babysit her son every Saturday morning.
She's just glad you stopped cashing the checks. And you're just saying,
it's more of a charity thing now.
I'm say this is like pro bono or something now, right?
Yeah. I'm careful with those words, but yeah.
So
it's more like amateur bono, to be honest with you.
Brian, do you have anything interesting happen this week?
Made most of my money back.
Oh, stock market.
From the stocks?
That's why we don't have an intern today. So no hostile takeover. Congratulations.
Bought my way out.
Congratulations.
That's why nothing was ready when we showed up. And he was outside shoveling his own walk.
Hey, what's the first thing I say when we get in the car? I go, sure hope Brian has that intern shoveling when we get there.
We pull up and Brian's outside shoveling.
First thing I said, sure hope he's got that intern shoveling. So, but awesome. No hostile takeover. So Audiohive lives on.
Yep, we're good to go.
Nice. That's good. Way to go there.
Those chickens are happy because they can probably last another week.
Yeah. Brian Musk, everybody. Brian Musk.
To the moon.
Hey, so I had a very limited week on the treadmill. I didn't have any energy.
No Treadflix?
I very little. I have Narco Wars. You familiar with this? Have you seen the show?
No.
It's on Hulu,
is that
too.
when people sleep fight?
Yeah, it's narcoleptic wars. Yeah, don't wake them. Don't wake them up.
Did you tell me it was on the Hulu?
Yeah, it's on
Hulu.
Hulu.
Is it on? Is that like owned by Ohio State University? The Ohio State University.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. But Narco Wars. So watching this, it's basically about drug trafficking and how it all started. And they have this guy in there that's like, I don't know what he is now, 75 or whatever, and he's talking about, I did this and I did that. And I'm like, just real matter of fact, I was flying $1 billion of cocaine into here every week. And I'm like, wow, just matter of fact right here. And I'm like, isn't this like the mafia where like someone wants to kill you after you do that stuff?
Yeah,
You
I'd
know?
be more worried about the people that he angered than the law, because it's probably some sort of stupid statute of limitations is up, so he can say whatever he
no,
wants.
he went to prison for a
Oh, so
long
he's
time.
he already served
He
his
took
time?
a deal. He took a deal,
Right.
and so he rolled over on
So,
bigger
but I'm
guys.
saying, like, that side is, he doesn't worry about that. He needs to worry about the side that he angered.
He actually rolled over on Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're fine. Those people don't hold grudges.
Right. Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Pablo's people, even though he's been gone for, they're fine.
So this is what I found so odd though, is one of the guys is talking and he said, this is why he got in. Okay. He said he saw one of these guys that did the running and trafficking show up, and he said they had the nicest, get this, these three things. They had the nicest women, they had the nicest horses, and they had the nicest belts. Belts was the third. They ended on belts, not on women, not on horses. They ended on belts.
Yeah, usually the third one is your punch.
Yeah. And I thought to myself,
punch, and you're like, oh,
I thought to myself, like maybe he walked out, he's like, man, he's got an attractive girlfriend and he's riding a nice pony, but look at his belt. I mean, I don't know if that's for me.
See, yeah, that wouldn't have played with me.
It's not for me. I mean, are these like do they wear like the ones the WWE guys get when they win a championship?
Well, then maybe
you know
we're
what I
talking.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you like, how do you know I'm a drug dealer? I'm the Intercontinental Champion, baby, right here. You know, how do you do that?
It's funny you mentioned it, because on my work call, I had the rack that has all my 5K medals behind me.
Yeah.
And one of the guys could see it over my shoulder, and he's like, are those suspenders or ties? Because he looked at it, saw that it had bibs for numbers, and still went, that guy probably doesn't run. It's probably suspenders or ties. I've seen him wear those.
My brain is saying there's no way those are medals.
Yeah. They're all colorful and shiny, but the ties.
What's that trophy for? Suspenders or ties? Honorable mention.
Yeah. This is rack 2,488 of ties and suspenders.
Right. So the other thing that I found on that is that last thing, and this is the end of my my tread flicks this week.
That was quick.
Yeah. Well, I know they didn't spread Corona because they were masked up like crazy. So there's no way they spread Corona. But they said that they like to smuggle meth because it's the easiest, because it's odorless, and they wrap it in carbon paper, which made me think of the guy who's doing them shirts. I wonder if he's in with these guys. You know, the guy who's doing the shirts to tell you if you have body odor.
Yeah.
He could send you a shirt wrapped in with meth wrapped in it, give you the shirt, and then you know what I mean?
So you think it's like a larger scheme where he's trying to get you to buy his stuff, but that's really just drug.
Correct.
You're just a drug mule now.
Correct. And the only thing I made off this is when they started talking to some people that like had done meth for years and this and that. I'm like, why don't they just smuggle it in the shape of teeth? You know what I mean? You can walk right through and be like, just smile. Hey,
Well, that guy's got some really weird blue teeth. These kids these days, I don't know what they're into.
But yeah, they like to do that because it's and I guess, man, they supply like 90% of the drugs from Colombia to the United States. So, but no, I'm all caught up on it now. But it was a binge watch.
You had a little fun little ride there.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah. But it was pretty cool. Like I said, I like gangster stuff and like mobster stuff. So the Escobar, like where, I mean, geez, whatever he wanted, whatever he did, people. And you know, even when he one of the guys that took over after him, and I can't remember his name, but they actually made him. They were trying to make him a saint, and he faked his own death. And then they put statues in churches, and if they took the statue out, they were threatening to kill priests. And I'm just like that stuff, that underworld stuff. I would never want to be a part of it because I'm a big baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
and I wouldn't want to look over my shoulder.
Very much on your page. Now, sure.
But the fact of the matter is that it's just very intriguing to me. You know, I really, how people get away with it for so long and they hide this. The one guy had El Chapo he had tunnels that were crazy. The bathtub comes up on hinges and he's got a tunnel that goes 1.5 miles underground.
To another bathroom, yeah.
He tunneled out of a prison.
Well, that was the thing. He kept escaping from prison. Like every time he gets to a new prison, like, can I work in the garden?
Yeah.
I just need some shovels. No big deal.
They come up in his cell, but here's the deal. They give him a ground floor suite. Hey, baby, how about give him the penthouse?
Right.
You know?
Give him a little effort.
Make it a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, they put him in there so he could get out. I mean, because he's paying people.
Right.
So like, oh, we'll leave you right here. Okay, here you go. You know? So
we're going to leave you right here. We're going to leave this door shut, but we're not going to lock it. Okay? Wink, wink, you get it? We're just going to lightly tap it. Okay? Good.
It's like the pumpkin farm. There's a bucket outside.
Yeah.
There's a key in it. We expect you to be honest.
Yeah, like the farm that's behind my neighborhood where they sell sweet corn, where there's just like a box. Put $5 in and get some sweet. Like your corn isn't worth $5. Yeah. It's barely worth a stop. I'm just going to grab it and go.
Ted's stand set up 1 mile down the road. 5 years for $1.
Hey, those bags look familiar. You need to shut your mouth.
Yeah.
But if you're running by that farm, could you come by and get me some more?
Yeah. If you have a second, do you mind running right up the road?
My business is smarter because I stay where the money is.
Yeah. Need a little refill. So that was pretty much a Treadflix for this week. I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Do you feel like we should jump into strange stories? Because one of them's going to get really stupid really fast. Ma, there's no more deviled eggs on the roof. Okay.
You know what that means? I don't know. Do people actually hear that? You're telling me Brian doesn't put these in the finished product?
Well, he doesn't put them in the rough.
Oh,
yeah,
is that
Brian.
what it is?
In the finished one.
Yeah, they go in the finished. But in the rough, what's funny is there's like dead space. I'm listening to edit it. Ma, there's no more deviled eggs on the rough.
That's going to be dead space.
Yeah. There'll be dead space, and I'm like, something just happened there, and I don't know what button it was. And then we'll be laughing like, oh, imagine that. And it's like, what button did we push?
There was one last week that was just dead space.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
David's just waiting like, what do I tell him to put here? I don't know what it is. Well, that means, everybody, it's time for Strange Stories with our star of our show.
Per Google.
Yes. Damon Paracchio.
So you butchered the name.
His face lit up so big, and he's like, well, you...
What a deckhand.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, we didn't say it. Damon got Brian and I Valentine's gifts. He gave us juice boxes.
Yes.
I think it means something.
Yeah, there's a message.
Code there.
There's an underlying message there. Juice boxes.
All right, and now back to Strange Stories.
So, first story headline: wombats have cube-shaped poop. Scientists now know why.
I did read that. I didn't read the story, but I did read that headline today. So
I'm
this
interested.
week.
Huh?
I said I'm interested.
We got Brian on board.
He just sat up. He took his jammies off and everything. Look at him.
I will tell you, based on my box store restroom visit, it was not a wombat.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
It was not a cube.
So basically, the big question that was troubling scientists about wombat crap, which I don't understand why there was any question.
Well, seriously, if you see a cube-shaped poop, you're
Right.
like, either someone is doing some weird art,
right.
or there's stuff we don't know what's going on.
So their question was, does it come out that way?
Do you think they're like filing it down?
So they thought, first off, they might have a square butthole. First off, if you use the word hole, that's not a square. Okay. As far as I'm concerned,
You can have a square hole.
Yeah, you can. And that's what they thought, is that they had a square.
I just
butthole.
have never seen 90-degree corners on any kind of like creature.
Right. So then they thought that it actually went afterwards and squared it off itself. First off, I am anal retentive about a lot of things. All right. But I've never.
I'm anal retentive a lot of things except stuff that comes out of my anal.
Yeah. I have never. I've never thought, wow, I should trim the sides off of that. You know what I mean? I've never.
I don't want someone to come around and think I have tubular poop.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would the neighbors say?
Is that braided? How did you do that? So what's funny is that Scott Carver, okay, who's
Wait. His name's Carver?
Yeah, Carver, right? But he's from the University of Tasmania, which to me, I immediately thought, blah, blah, you know, it's like I found this turd, you know?
Damon learning that Tasmania is an actual place. That's strange story number one.
It's the devil, Bobby, the devil. So
playing at foosball.
But yeah, he said they either that they thought they had a square-shaped butthole, okay, or they were doing this themselves. No, it turns out, I guess their intestines are like squared off. So it comes out. That still doesn't do me.
Yeah, wouldn't it look like a Hershey's Kiss then? Like square in the bottom, little.
So that was my thought. Is I'm thinking to myself like, wouldn't it be like a stop sign? It's got to rub something on the way out. You know what I mean? This had 4 corners. Now it's got 8.
Is there like a little cylinder at the top that's pushing it out of the like? Whoop,
It's like
level off.
It's like Play-Doh. It's like Play-Doh.
It's like the little haircut, like little barbershop when they just cuts it off.
I think everybody should get their Wombat Play-Doh set out right now.
Why, Mommy? Why does all the Play-Doh come in brown?
Yeah,
And a jar of corn.
And a jar of
I
corn.
heard that. Yeah.
But so anyway, they've determined. So I have a picture of it, if you'd like to see. But I have a picture of it. It's square. It looks like a banana bread. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Kind of looks.
It's
it looks like one of the Tootsie Roll that comes in like the cart, like the the U-shaped cardboard. You know what I'm talking about? The bigger Tootsie Roll. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's where they got an idea for that. Wombat rolls just didn't sell.
The intestine has layers of muscle that at varying thickness that shape the poop into cubes as it passes.
That got gross. So I don't know why.
But I'm just telling you.
It wasn't gross until you got scientific. A series of muscles that shapes it as it passes.
And so Carver says, how do you produce cubes inside essentially a soft tube? And I thought, okay, this is what we're reading about. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I did kind of a cold read on this.
Did you become a doctor after they legalized marijuana?
What I love is how they're like, scientists now know why. Why were scientists concerned before?
Well, yeah.
So, but now what it
We've
says,
solved every other mystery, of course.
so it goes through and it tells you that basically, since you see this can be done, that this will help many industries that try to like package food or do this and that. Try to help them find out how they can do this into prepackaged shapes instead of everything coming out in, I won't say like a liquid, but like string cheese, right? Imagine if you could spray a can and it comes out in a block. You know what I'm saying?
Please tell me that company is going to be called Wham That. Oh, is that what you need? You need Wham That.
So the last sentence in here, okay, and that's why I said this story was. I just like.
It was a cute little.
Everybody loves poop, so it is what it is.
Sure.
But the last line in here says, maybe one day you can thank a pooping wombat for your consumer goods.
I think you need to read that with more gravitas. Maybe one day you can thank a pooping wombat.
You're reading it as Wayne May.
For your consumer goods.
Imagine Wayne May in this case, though. He'd be like, it's square. It's a wombat.
No, he's probably sitting in his, study, all wood paneling, library books all around the thing, sitting in his smoking jacket and his pipe going, fools.
Yeah.
I could have told you that. Wayne May knows why the poop is cubed. Who knows why the poop is cubed? Wayne May knows.
Wayne may know. He may not. So the last strange story I have, this one, Mac.
Wait. The other one should have been number 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Way to make it number 1, David.
Wait, huh? Wait.
Was that a
what?
You can't do that on television reference?
Huh?
Was that what you just did there?
No, well, there's that and also hee-haw.
Okay.
Because then you go to, and now here's Roy. And you pop up like in the cornfield,
So you might know this headline. Oh, you got wombat poop.
Oh,
nice,
man. Look
nice.
at you. Doesn't have an intern, but yet he can.
Looks like brownies. Man builds functioning guitar out of uncle's skeleton.
I saw this too. Did you see that?
I didn't look too far into it, but
yeah.
I
So,
also, on the same page, they had your cactus story. So I'm wondering if I know where you're getting your sources now.
yeah. I get some sources from different stuff, but I like a couple more than others. So anyway, basically his uncle died at 28 years old overseas, and the family could never afford to bury him. Okay. So he rotted away in a box, and then they gave his skeleton to science. Well, years later, the university it was at decided they didn't need the skeleton anymore. And so the family bought it back. Well, you have remains now. What do? They couldn't afford a burial site here in the States. So they go ahead and the kid, I'll say kid, he's looks like he's 30, 40 years old. He literally makes a guitar out of, it's up on the screen.
Would you prefer that he uses a pick, or would you prefer that he?
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty weird. But I guess
it's pretty weird.
He died. Like I said, the guy's name is Philip. They call it they call the guitar here. I got to start back because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's hysterical. This guy's name that does this, he's from Tampa, Florida. And
we didn't need to know that.
He goes by the name Prince Midnight. Okay.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
I'm sure that was a name he gave himself too.
Yeah. But this is a real.
He's probably the only person that refers to himself as that too.
Brian, have you ever heard of Dark Throne?
Is it a band?
It's a band.
Yeah.
Okay. So he basically he played a version of it on his new Axe, one of their songs, Transylvanian Hunger. So it sounds like a wedding anthem, probably, if I've ever heard one. Right.
Love song. Definitely a love song.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce to you for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. That's what you hear over the top.
What sucks is, how do you do that? How do you pay out the band? My uncle wants a cut too. It's like, whoa, hold on. But essentially, he calls it Midnight's Philip Skellicaster instead of a Telecaster. Listen, as a guy who has had guitars and this and that, Telecaster's a great guitar. Okay, to just put the neck of something like that on your uncle's basically torso with no meat on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not in.
No, I'm not.
And he said he's paying homage to Fender, to the Telecaster, and he's naming it after his uncle. This is really ridiculous because the guy died in 96. He was 28.
Called it a slender Skelecaster then.
A Skeletor. Is that a He-Man reference? Did we just get a He-Man reference? But realistically, so the whole thing is, why would you look around and say, I need to use my uncle's bones for something? I think I'll make a guitar.
Yeah.
So what did you do with the rest of the bones?
Yeah.
Because they're not all there. You know what I mean?
Maybe they got a Davy Jones in the band and they need maracas.
They got the xylophone like from the Flintstones.
Well, he's using the ribs for the guitar, so I don't know what's going on there.
That's a big ass drumstick. That's a femur, sir. That's a femur. I got 2 of them. You throw it out in the crowd. Oh, gross.
Yeah. That's literally like at this point, like you can look around, like what could I put a neck on?
Yeah, but I guess Uncle Philip was a huge metalhead, and so he'd rather, instead of rather be dead, now he's shredding.
Yeah, I feel like
you know what I mean.
Based on the story I've read about this is that if Uncle Philip showed up and saw someone else's nephew playing their uncle as a guitar, Uncle Phil would be like, "Whoa, rock on, man! I want you to do that to me when I'm dead."
When you say Uncle Phil, I picture the guy from Fresh Prince, and I'm like, first off, it's that's like a floor bass. You know what I mean? That's way too big. Is you is or is you ain't my baby. Yeah.
You just see Carlton dancing all sad off to the side.
Still the same dance, just slower and
tears. Sadder. Yeah. It's not unusual.
And in between, he's handing out $10,000 of video winners. It's like, how are you doing that?
How is that show still on the air? We have the internet.
Hey, so before we go, can I hit on a couple things that are coming up? First off, we're going to actually travel together.
Road trip.
Yeah, we're going to actually travel together. So that's going to be awesome. That's coming early March. So we'll have some fun stuff from that. Maybe we'll even do, because I still have the app on my phone. Maybe we can even do some stupid recording stuff or whatever. We'll see.
We'll see.
You know, we'll see what we do there. But that's coming up. We're going to a comedy show.
We are going to a comedy show.
For Chad Daniels. That's going to be really fun. Yeah.
Co-host of Middle of Somewhere podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
We recommend that podcast, not for children.
Yeah. If you think I said bad words at the beginning of this, that's not for children.
But if you were into comedy, into stand-up comedy, the first 4,000 episodes are just 2 stand-up comics talking about their days. Right now, one of the co-hosts is off for medical reasons, so they're bringing in a whole bunch of stand-up comedians that are talking about life on the road and stuff, which is interesting for people into that. I know Damon has written it off because he's a jerk, but no, but check it out. It's a great thing. We enjoy it.
But go back and grab some episodes and listen to it.
Yeah, go back and listen to their episodes and then our episodes from the same week and find out how weird it is that a lot of times we talk about the same things. It's creepy.
Yeah. Because we both come out on Monday morning. Yeah. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So it's not like anyone has influenced anyone. It's just, we just at the same time are like, hey,
yeah,
let's talk about wombat poop.
Hey, if they do that.
Yeah, I'm legit.
Yeah. I'm calling.
I told you, our buddy Jim Flanagan got name dropped last week. And I told him that. And he's like, that made my day. And I'm like, well, it made one of our days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess which one, Jim?
Yeah. Well, just so everybody knows, that's a big date coming up for us to go early in March. Not giving the exact date. It is what it is. I don't like to tell people when I'm out of town. Yeah. I just don't like to do that.
It is March 41st.
Yeah. Our in April, we're going to have, first off, I'm going to have my 17-year wedding anniversary. Then we're going to have our 1-year show anniversary.
Which is the same day.
Because this ignorant prick right here did it on the same day as my 16th year anniversary.
Yeah.
While we were supposed to be on vacation as a family at the Mouse House in Florida.
Because I clearly remember, like, are you sure we're allowed to do this today?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're still going, and it gets me out of the house. So she likes that.
Yeah. Well, we all know that you have a subpoena. Yeah. Should have used that earlier. We're talking Law and Order. It was right there in front of me. Didn't even bring it up.
I tell you what's helping though is the snow. Oh, we're gonna get 9 inches. I look outside and there's like 2. I'm like, that's 9 inches, honey. You heard him say it on the news. 9 inches. Right there.
Brian, we're going to do that PG-13 again this week.
Yeah. Explicit language.
Yep.
Brian's like, yeah, I already have it. It's already in there. What are you talking about?
And then 2 months from next week, Tony Danza is going to turn 70.
That's a lot of math.
I'm just telling you right now, April 21st, Tony Danza will be 70 years old. So you should these are things you put in your calendar. My anniversary, Tony Danza's birthday. Okay. And then the fact that we're going to go out of town. Okay.
I mean, I have that in the calendar because I had to ask for it off work, but The other things, no.
We will not be traveling on Tony Danza's birthday, which is again April 21st.
Man,
so if you're doing the
1951.
math, we're going to go somewhere between the end of or beginning of March and April 21st. So you'll know I'll be gone somewhere in there. So
Are we doing anything special for the That Checks Out anniversary?
No, I thought if I could find a cake big enough for me to get in and jump out for you guys, I would do it.
They don't. Man. I mean, you calling Buddy or Duff Goldman? Like, who are you calling?
Yeah. I was gonna say unless Pillsbury's sponsoring it, I don't think you're gonna jump out of that doughboy.
I mean, I've seen the Cake Boss make some of those, but those seem to be pricey.
Yeah.
Is Tony Danza paying for it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
you can get him in on board. So, but yeah, he's gonna be. Oh, see, you got him up there. Look at you googling stuff for me. See, you tell a guitar skull story or a skeleton story, and Brian's like, "I'm in. I'm in." I had you.
You had me at wombat poop.
So, all right. Well, I don't have anything else, man. I think we need to tell everybody where to go.
Wow, we're wrapping it up early today.
It's
are.
real early.
We are.
Brian, do you want to tell us how early we are? Because you got really excited like 2 weeks ago. When
You guys have 7 minutes left.
7 minutes left.
What are you doing?
You're paying me for the full hour.
We're only 39 minutes in.
Wow.
And that's with all the pre-show
Really?
BS.
That's good, though. That's good. That'll hold people's interest because I think people hate us by 12 seconds in. So it's pretty good if you make it this far.
Yeah, this might be the first time you guys make it to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
That way, you can actually hear this part where I tell you to find us at thatchecksoutwdt. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those things at thatchecksoutwdt, which stands for, apparently, according to Google, with Damon and Ted.
Well, with Damon Paracchio and Ted ...
With Ted Ellipsis. There's 2 L's in that, though, so I'll take it.
I think that should be your stage name from now on.
Ted Ellipsis.
Ted Ellipsis.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming
No, welcome to the stage, Ted Ellipsis.
It's like a cabana dancer, what do they call, or whatever they call those.
And I just come up and just be like, hey,
Why is he
And then
wearing
the rest of it is
Why
just
is he wearing
ellipses.
tassels and suspenders?
You got
This
it.
is so weird. I'll get it later.
yeah, why is the suspenders attached to the tassels?
To the tassels. What is he holding up?
What's going on? This doesn't even make sense.
Why does he keep? Why does he
I just
keep?
did this. I ain't no big time city dancer.
Why does he keep pulling on him? Looks so painful. What kind of masochist is on the stage right now? It's Ted Ellipsis, everybody. Ted Ellipsis.
Hey, we need to write down Ted Ellipses and they never invite back. Yeah.
Hey, I think we found the title for this week's show. Ted Ellipsis.
Ted Ellipses. And Damon ...
Yeah. You believe that?
I believe that. I believe it's time to wrap it up. Don't forget thatchecksout.net. Send us all your comments, feedback. Give us some ideas that you want to hear us talk about. We will see you right back here next week. That's to you, Brian, because that's going to hear us. But we'll see you next week, Brian.
Yeah, we'll see you next.
That checks out.